Hello, Spring 2015 Histology class. I'm Dr. Ogilvy, the director of the course, the fully online histology course, BIOL530. I want to talk to you and give you a tour of the course website. To get to the course website, most of you know to put into your browser this uniform resource locator URL blackboard.sc.edu. Once you do that, you will come to the login page. I've already logged in, and you'll log in with your university net ID and password. Once you do that, you will see this page. This is, of course, where you choose the courses, and this is the Spring 2015 course link. But before you enter the course, you need to make sure that your personal information profile, that the email address, that's what I'm doing here right now. I'm going to personal information under tools, and I'm going to make sure that I have the email address that I want. And yes, I do, because this is the course email address, BIOJ530, and that is the email address that all of the global emails and individual emails I may send to the class during the semester will come from. And that is the email address that if you have a special concern, you should not respond to my global emails to the whole class. You should put this email address into your email account address book. And then you generate an email, a fresh email, to send to me if there is a private matter having to do with your progress in the course, or if you feel like a score is not justified, not a question or an answer right question, that is on the discussion board, or if you have some emergency that you need to let me know about that may cause you to have to miss a deadline. All right, and all these emergencies, most of them are known ahead of time. There are situations where you don't know ahead of time, but you need to notify me as soon as you possibly can. And if you look on page 3 of the syllabus, it talks about that very thing and the exceptions. So anyway, you will submit whatever change you make sure that this email address in your profile is the one that you check every single day, because I will be sending very short emails as the course progresses, directing you to something new, usually a new announcement that we call bulletins. So I'm going to submit that. I didn't make any changes. And then from my USC, I will go to click on that. And then here now, this tells you the supported browsers and operating systems. We have pretty much emphasized Firefox. You can use Google Chrome. You could use Internet Explorer. You got to a little be careful in using Safari. And if you expand this, you will see the entire table of supported browsers. So consult this and try to use a browser that will be stable during the semester. We're not saying you cannot use an Explorer 9, but I have found that most of the time I use Firefox and Google Chrome. That's pretty much routine with me. So back now to the smaller view. And so now we're ready to enter the course. And I'm going to click on the Spring 2015 Histology. And the very first thing you see is bulletin number 1 right here. And we're going to call the announcements bulletins. There may be a dozen bulletins during the course of the semester, and there will be very important information to keep you advised of certain things. Now, as far as communication during the course about the course content, that's all taken care of the discussion board, and that's very carefully explained in several places. But for now, I will tell you that personal matters you handle by email. And challenging a question on a quiz is not a personal matter. Asking about whether your score is accurate or not is a personal matter, so you handle that in email. But on the discussion board, any question about course content, about a question on the quiz, if you want to challenge a question, there's a proper forum, and I'll take you to the discussion board before we finish this video. So pay close attention right at the outset to this welcome page and do what it says to do. And I think it's very important you view this video, which is really about the fact that very few of us humans can really truly multitask. So I just want to emphasize that this course requires a regular study. If not on a daily basis, every 2 to 3 days, you should be back studying this course and stick at it regularly. In the syllabus, on the very last part of the syllabus, you will see some advice from former students. And in the syllabus, we also give you advice of how to proceed in the course. You need to really pay attention to that, because histology is not something that you can just put off to the last minute and hope that you can cram and get a good grade on a quiz or an exam. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so once you do that, then you're going to want to go to the course check-in link and open this folder, and you're going to follow each one of these steps. And this video that I'm making is going to be posted here later today. I'm just making it now. So I'm not going to belabor this. Just make sure that you follow everything here. Pay attention to the technology requirements. There will be some special information about all the computers that are available on campus in a special bulletin, either today or tomorrow. But there are a number of labs if you're near the Columbus campus or on the Columbus campus that you can use. But ideally, you should have your own desktop or laptop, and a good one that you can use during the course. That's not to say you can't successfully work in the course by going to a computer lab either on this campus, or if you are on a distant campus, then and you plan to use a lab there, then you will need to let me know. And I think I'll send a special email to those students enrolled. There's a few on distant campuses, because there's certain things that have to be installed there on that computer lab if you expect to use it successfully. Okay, so enough about that. Once you do that, you're going to want to go and download the syllabus and the course schedule of assignments. And there are two formats of assignments. There's well, first of all, on the syllabus, I'll point out, if you downloaded the syllabus before yesterday, you really need to download it again, because on the page where there's module quiz explanation here on page 8, I changed this text because we had there that you could review your module quiz and see if you got the correct answer or an incorrect answer immediately after you take the quiz. We're changing that. We're only going to allow you to review each module quiz 24 hours after the point that it closes, and you'll have to budget your time to go in and review your quiz and my grades. You'll be able to see whether you got the answer correct or not. If you got it incorrect, you will not see the correct answer. You will need to post on the discussion board if you want to challenge a question, or some of our questions require type in. We don't allow any spelling, not one deviation from the correct spelling. However, you may type in an answer that we hadn't thought of that may be correct, so you could propose that and we will consider it. So that's what's changed on that syllabus. So be sure you download the latest syllabus that is beginning on Monday, today, January the 12th. Okay, so let's go back to the course schedule. Here is a detailed assignments. You'll see the overview here, and then for each module you have specific assignments, and it gives you the approximate time that you would need to spend, and that doesn't include the extra study time you'll need to learn the material. But each one of these pages for each module will show up on the module folder page on the course website also. And then you have a course calendar schedule, which helps you keep an overview of the course and everything that's going on during the course. So all of those documents would be very important for you not to miss any deadlines. the course staff. I'm Dr. Ogilvy. This is just a little bit about me. We're also going to release pretty soon a blog in which there's going to be more information about me and the TA as well as Dr. Sawyer, probably a little later this week, and invite all of you to put your picture and whatever. It's not a requirement, it's optional, but we hope most of you will participate in that. Okay, so then tech troubleshooting is very important that you follow all of this very carefully. And under that is the tech frequently asked questions, and we've got 7 things listed you can find in here. Now let me just point out one of them by going to the web mic will not open properly. So if I click on this folder, and we can see here where you need to change things if it's not working, and this is where you set the special security settings in your Java in order to allow this to WebMic to be allowed to access. And there's stepwise procedures here for Firefox. But one of your classmates has already been very helpful, and on the discussion board, which I'm going to go to right now, I'll click on discussion board. You can see we have a forum for almost everything. There's a forum for BIOL530 installation and use, and they're listed alphabetically. And down at the bottom is WebMic. And one of your classmates, Brandy Reeves, posted a helpful post because she wants to use Safari or Google. Now, I will caution you, Brandy, as well as the rest of the class, be very careful with Safari because there's some things, taking an exam maybe in a cloud for exam taking in BIOL530 may not work. I'm not remembering. I think there's some information on the technology link about that, but I just want to caution you about that. But I do want to say how much I appreciate your jumping in there and providing this for other users. So this is an example of a student being very helpful, and once again, and just take note of that. So now let's go back to course modules. And it's all listed under graded work, and you've got module information here, and then for every module you have a folder. And when you click on that folder, you will see an overview of the lectures you're going to have to go through and the lab assignments, and you actually will not see any of these things below, that is module lectures and this until you have taken the syllabus quiz and marked the course check-in page marked and reviewed. So now for right now, see, for every module, like I just told you a minute ago, you'll be able to open a page which is this same page you will find in the overall detailed schedule, and this is your specific assignments for this module as far as lecture and lab. And so when we go back here, you get a kind of a synopsis of that here. And then on the first module folder for lectures, you're going to see the animated lectures here and the PDF. So when you click on the PDF, it's going to open in a separate window, and there's all the slides and the text of the narration in the narrative lecture here. Now what's not there are the quiz questions at the end with the answers. What you're going to need to do is you're going to open up by clicking here. Click here to watch lecture, introduction, overview, and I already watched this one time, so I'm going to start a new submission. You can log in as many times as you want to, and then you click to launch it, and then you're going to
welcome
hear me
to
talk.
Histology Online, BIOL530. Dr. Sawyer and I are delighted that you have enrolled in this course and wish you success in learning.
Each lecture is going to
These
have
are the topics that will be presented in this lecture.
A lot of this
Each
is
topic
given in
is
the
hyperlinked to the
introduction,
first.
and then at the end you're
The
going to have a
quiz
quiz,
beginning.
and you will get
The
a chance
faculty
to,
and the quiz beginning on the next slide counts for your grade.
answer that the questions on the quiz, and so you just simply try this, and you get as many chances as possible to get the correct answer. And you must, though, in order to get credit and get a green check mark in My Grades saying you did get credit for that, then you're going to have to make sure you answer every one correctly. And until you do, you will not get the green check mark. This is a way to help you be reminded of some of the important things in the lecture and give you a little practice while earning some part of your grade. And if you go to the syllabus, I think it's page 10 or so, you can see the table of what each component of the course counts towards your grade. Okay, so much for that. I'm going to get out of that. And then there's a special graduate student project assignment. We'll be back and forth in communication with graduate students about that. Be sure that you click on the quiz exam, read everything here about the quiz and exams, and so you understand. And there's even a tutorial about taking 3 different venues for taking a quiz by Blackboard directly, as well as logged in to Blackboard by way of BIOL530, and also how to review your quiz or exam in My Grades. Lots of help, lots of explanation. Very important this week that you get through all these things so you're ready to really study in this course. The first module goes on for 3 weeks, so you can spare some time this week to get it set up. Now the next thing is extremely important, and I want to pause for a moment so I can get something set up for this. Just a moment. Okay, the sample tests. We give you the sample tests so that you can get an idea of how we test, what kinds of questions we ask, and also so that you can make sure your BIOL530 installation is correctly installed and works properly, and you can use it to take part B of each module quiz, the midterm, and part C of the final. So let me open the sample tests, which are very important. And when you take these, obviously you will not know the correct answer right off to each one of these, but we have given you the chance to review these in My Grades, and you'll be able to each review them immediately after you take them, and you can see the correct answer. But we want you to go back in several times so that you're comfortable in taking the quiz. And we've got other videos on how to take a quiz. I'm going to log into this one and begin the quiz and briefly point out a couple things. First thing I do is I expand this so I will know. I can see there are 7 questions, and I can see when I've saved each one. And here, this is a multiple choice question with an image, and so if I choose, well, the question is identify the cell type at the tip of the pointer. Well, I'll just tell you that's a plasma cell, so I'm going to do that, and the answer is saved automatically once you click on it. And then there are other types of questions like matching, etc. So you just need to get used, and then the type in answer. And this question, observe the banding pattern. Which component of a sarcomere is not present in the narrow light bands that run in the middle of the dark bands? And so that is going to be the thin filaments, and I'm just going to put thin filaments. You must spell this correctly, and then, like I say, once you submit that answer, within a short amount of time, you should see it show up here. And and that was question number 4. So you see now I know that I've answered these 2, and before I go to have an exam, I can see immediately which ones I haven't answered. Okay, so that's your part A. That's a kind of a sample of the part A of the module quizzes and the midterm and the final. So let's go back now. I'm going to submit this. I'll have to go down to the bottom here, save and submit that, and say OK. And so immediately I can now click and review this, you see, or I could go to My Grades and review it too. So maybe go back to sample tests. This is the one that's incredibly important, part B, and we've set this to be delivered one question at a time, like the midterm and the final are going to be. You see, here's only one question, And on the midterm and final, we're not even going to allow you to backtrack, because we've found that these are high stakes exams. And while we caution you about cheating and going against the honor code, we can't absolutely control for that, but we make it challenging enough, and also set it up so that you will have all of the warnings necessary and be extremely hard to collaborate on this exam. So we're already going to allow you to go one question at a time, and this is the BIOL530, and you cannot take the BIOL530 Part B of the module quizzes and the midterm and Part C of the final directly logged in with Blackboard. So I'm going to have to go out of this, which means that I'll have to go to the very last question here, because you can't submit it until then. So I'm going to save and submit, and I'll be able to take it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over the login in Quiz Exam Cloud in BIOL530. And when you have opened up your cloud for quiz and exam taking in BIOL530, you're going to log in with your net ID and password to Blackboard, and I've already got mine set for student view, and I click login. And once I do that, then I'm just like I'm in Blackboard, and I am. So I click on the spring 2015, and then I click on the quizzes and exams. Well, no, I quiz and exam information, and then on the sample tests, and then I click on the sample test like I did before, and now I'm taking this within BIOL530. See, this is BIOL530 here, okay? And I'm logged in with my quiz and exam login cloud, and I begin to take the exam, and I'm going to start a new submission, and now I'm going to open this up just like I said. Now you can get more territory to view by going up here and hovering your cursor, your mouse, over the borderline between the menu and what you're looking at, and you get the arrow, and now you have more space. And so now I'm going to answer this question, and this question is: 2 organs are presented labeled A and B. Now, where am I going to get those organs? Well, I have to click to access the virtual slide, and it's going to open it up in another tab. And here it is, you see. And I've got a macro view over here. Now, I need to click on the annotation. You see the annotation up here, and then I click and go to make sure I have it completely viewed, and I can increase the magnification on this. You see my little thing, and I can go over to this organ and this organ. I can back up and look at it at extremely low magnification. There are videos, other videos, that coach you in manipulating the specimens, the virtual slide specimens. So once you're finished with that and you go to the next question and you click on the next question, then this tab will be replaced here by the next question specimen. It does not leave that up. So that's enough for that, because there's other videos that you can watch on that. So I'm going to move that over and say OK here, and then I'm going to go out of that. Excuse me. And I think all I'm going to say here is that you'll take the syllabus schedule and website quiz, and then module quiz 1 is not going to, graded quiz, not going to be available until next Monday, but from then on they'll be available from the very first day of each module. And then check out the glossary of terms, the virtual slide exploration. You cannot learn histology well and think about the lecture content, the lab content, and how to apply things, and visualizing structures and distinguish between structures unless you practice. So we've given you practice in WebMic, we've given you practice in BIOL530, but you can go out on the web here and get lots of practice. So I highly encourage you to do that. And then there's some practice quiz games. And probably the most interesting one is this link right here, where when you go to it and you go to Histology World, so on this page that you arrive at after clicking on that link, if you go to Blue Histology, that's where you can take multiple choice quizzes and single answer quizzes. These multiple choice quizzes are somewhat similar to, and you can choose them by all tissues and systems, etc., and then start the quiz, enjoy yourself. And then the single answer quizzes, these are like our type in answers questions. So students have found that very interesting and very helpful before, so we offer that to you. Now we're going back to the course. I'm going to remove these tabs, and we're back at that place. And then there's recommended texts, and you have no required text except for the lab manual with a WebMic study guide. But in case some of you would like to consult a text, these are 3 texts that we can recommend. And then there's an online text that you can click here to download a PDF, or you can go to this website here, which is an entire histology textbook. And it was done many, many years ago by a very good friend of mine and professor who is now deceased. But he gave full permission to use this online, and it's still there. And these are all the PowerPoints that he created, which is very interesting diagrammatic PowerPoints that may be helpful to peruse. And if you find them helpful, then that's all well and good. Okay, so then the discussion board we referred to before. Be sure you peruse this and know where you can post things in the appropriate forum. We even have one for students assisting students. I'm not going to remove the one posted here on WebMic because it's very appropriate to WebMic. But most of the time, okay, and then email, you can actually use this to select individual persons or instructors to email, and of course here's the My Grade. So that's a pretty much, this is just short of 30 minutes long, and I'm going to go back now to the announcements just to emphasize that the announcements we call bulletins, and when you get a short email from time to time in the course, it's mostly going to direct you to the course website to read and take note of the latest bulletin. Okay, so good luck, and I hope all of you do well with this one advisement. Study regularly. Do not procrastinate. It will not work in this course. Do not cram. Do a regular study. Seek out the advice at the end of the syllabus, and any former students who are successful in the course, if you talk to them, I think that's what they will tell you. So once again, good luck, and I hope you enjoy the learning of histology.